Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. It is November 18th here on Wednesday. It is the Wrestling Inc. podcast as we just wrapped up another fun edition of NXT and AEW Dynamite. So a lot of fun stuff to dive into as both shows, Raj Giri, who is the co-host at the moment, both shows, I think, very stellar 2 hours.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought NXT didn't feel like they were on cruise control. They felt like they were trying this week, like they were actually looking to pop a rating. And AEW, I thought, was super entertaining, like from top to bottom. So I thought both shows were really good. NXT with the return of the Undisputed Era at the end and everything with a little bit of an overrun. I thought a strong night.
Yeah, that's good to mention. NXT did end up getting a 5-minute overrun, having that flexibility with USA. They're running the Undertaker as we speak, last ride. So again, and then Miz and Maurice afterwards. So some right. WWE executive produced material that they can, I guess, kind of edit down or fudge around on the dial. I'm Justin LaBar. We hope Matt Morgan is going to be coming on here shortly. Matt, of course, very busy, so we give him always a little bit of a pass as exactly what time he wants to hit the ring. So hopefully he'll pop up here at any point. But we didn't want to leave you guys hanging and waiting. We know you're patient and looking forward to talking some wrestling, so we want to go ahead and give it to you. Raj, let's kick it off with Dynamite. Again, it should be note, we know Dynamite's building to not a pay-per-view, but a big episode on December 2nd, where we're going to see the Moxley title match against Omega, and then we would also find out here from NXT tonight that they are going to have a couple days later a War Games pay-per-view. So both shows really kicking it in gear, knowing that they only have a couple weeks here to get all these stories in place, and I think that really came across as we'll get into. But let's start with AEW Dynamite, and we kick it off where the Young Bucks are going to have a non-title match against Top Flight. So they show a video package introducing you who Top Flight is. We're talking to Dante and Darius Martin, 19 and 21 respectively, real-life brothers, and they talk about how they grew up watching the Young Bucks and watching the Motor City Machine Guns and kind of idolizing these kind of tag teams. And they talk about how big of a deal it was when Matt Jackson actually responded and started texting to them and leading to them getting involved with AEW. So setting up a good feel-good story of who these new guys are, and then to follow suit, the match you'd expect. The Young Bucks certainly gave a considerable amount of offense, Raj, to Top Flight. And in the end, the right thing happened. The Young Bucks get the victory, but again, certainly help try to make and establish this new tag team.
Yeah, I thought Top Flight looked great. I was really impressed. They're 19 and 21. I mean, they're super young, and they impressed the hell out of me. And that's kind of a cool story. I could see some people thinking that story might take away a little bit. Like you just need to send a tweet to get a spot on Dynamite or in AEW, but I didn't see it that way. I saw it like that movie. You're a Steelers guy. Who was the guy that? What's that?
You think you're talking about the Rockstar?
No. Mark Wahlberg was in that movie.
Yeah.
Not Rockstar. Maybe I'm not thinking Mark Wahlberg. The football player who they just didn't try out.
He was an Eagles player.
Oh, Eagles player. Right.
Yeah. I think also might have been Mark Wahlberg. Because I know what you're talking about. That's what
I thought, yeah.
Well,
like Invincible, or
maybe because it's funny because Mark Wahlberg was also where he's the guy who's in the cover band, ended up getting to join the real band, and he's actually from Pittsburgh. That's why I thought you were going.
You guys got all the feel good stories,
right?
But yeah, I thought it was kind of like that. It was a cool story. Like these guys got this opportunity. They look great. The match was really good. The Young Bucks gave them a lot, and then, they were attacked at the end by, I'm blanking, the video game demo guys.
Jack Evans and Helico.
Yeah, and so that should be a cool feud. It gives them all something to do. So yeah, should be cool.
Very much screams like it's gonna be an AEW Dark kind of feud.
Yeah,
Helico and Jack Evans versus Top Flight, but nonetheless, a spot is a spot. If you got a contract, then
absolutely,
that's great. Shout out to Andrew Tom for a $4.99 super chat. Nothing to say, just throwing money at us like we're up here stripping or something.
Thank you guys.
So real happy for Top Flight. These guys, it was also noted too, and I want to give a cheap plug, trained by Molly Holly and Mr. Ken Anderson at Ken's wonderful facility called the Academy. It's a wrestling school up in Minneapolis. I've actually gone there, toured it. I've took some bumps and worked with Ken. It really is. I mean, it's not the size or the like a performance center or something like that, but it is a really cool facility in terms of what he's got in addition to a wrestling ring, the things he has for promos and the promo area he has. And obviously, a great guy to teach you promos is Ken Anderson. So if you're ever aspiring to get into wrestling and you can get to Minneapolis, plug there.
Apparently my prodigy internet is doing a number on my video. You look fine to me. Do I look fine to you?
No, you look blurry.
Wait, tell me ahead of time.
Well, actually, it just started getting blurry once we got going.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I wonder if it's my browser.
How is this possible? You have built an empire on the internet before most people were using the internet. What is happening here, Raj?
It looks perfect on my end. I look great, looking dashing. But anyway,
well, you look like I'm watching like I don't know, Todd Grisham on like WWE Bite This 20 years ago or something.
Oh man.
Another super chat. Oh, Andrew's saying something this time before 99. Can't AEW come up with more of their own championships? The NWA women's titles defended more than their own. Well, I will say this. I do feel like the NWA women's attention feels more important, yes, than the AEW women. But I do think that there's an opportunity here. Obviously, the NWA has really kind of has been on pause for the majority of this pandemic, and obviously they were hit with some of their own behind the scenes problems with personnel, with Dave Lagana stepping down amid accusation. So I think this is an opportunity. Maybe some kind of business deal was struck between Billy Corgan and Tony Khan to keep that NWA name relevant, keep the talent working, and maybe keep his door open for a crossover down the line. Which
is weird because the NWA women's title seems to be getting more of a focus than their own women's title, and I don't know. I just think that's a weird thing. Thunder Rosa, is going to be a free agent next year, I believe. And there's Marty Bell is now a free agent. Just seems like there's a lot of good talent out there.
Yeah, Marty Bell is great talent. Andrew back at it this time on the YouTube side. 299. Raj is being hacked by Ali.
Damn you, Ali! Retribution.
Oh God.
Taking over my feed.
That's why I do the Wednesday night show, so I don't have to talk about Retribution.
Raj needs to upgrade CompuServe. Sad I know all these references, but there we go. That's the one that the email addresses were like 1976810 at CompuServe.com, I think.
I'm expecting to hear the sound of the phone dialing up here in a second from you. Right. All right. Up next was the first of the two installments of the Inner Circle Goes to Vegas, aka the Inner Circle cosplays The Hangover. But and I say that with a sarcastic tone, but that's what I kind of thought would it be anyways. But
right.
It's funny. Everybody quotes The Hangover. It's like one of those. It's like this generation's Animal House. I mean, even though it's like 10 years old, it's just one of those movies everybody knows. So it's a good one to go with because everybody gets it.
Yeah. There were a couple of people on Twitter that I saw that hadn't seen The Hangover. They were just super confused. So.
Oh my! If you haven't seen The Hangover, that is a problem. You're really not sure what's happening.
Right.
Before we get into that, I guess we'll do Jody Shauna Jenkins Canadian $5. To me, AEW has stalled the last couple weeks. A month and a half ago or more, I didn't want to miss it, but now, meh. All right.
It does feel like it's missing that big feud, that heated feud that. You had Cody and MJF before. Kenny Omega and Adam Page, I don't know, it seems like it's on hold now. I could see that, but we got a couple weeks till the Moxley Omega match, and I think they're pacing, but we'll see. But I do get that point. I do get your point. The shows have been super entertaining, but not like, I can't, what's going to happen next week? And I
think, and I do think there's some issues. I think some of it does stem from the world title picture, which Moxley has a promo, which we'll get to in a minute. Which it's a good promo, but it's not what anybody's talking about.
Right.
Coming out of it, which we'll get to in a second. But and
real quick in that Hangover parody, they had Conan had a cameo.
Right. So we end up seeing that they're all there, and they're playing blackjack, and then we see MJF and Jericho at the bar. They're just one-upping each other on ordering. They start out with like buttery nipples, and now they ended up just drinking just straight grain alcohol. and then we see them kind of, they're staggering and stumbling, walking, being propped up everybody. And then they run into Conan, who says that he's got the best stuff. And then we cut to them all coming out of a smoke-filled limousine, high as can be. And then then they're back into a bar, more drunk, more high. And then we see Wardlow and Hager, who never stop staring at each other at any point, which is a great little catch. And then they proceed to try to one up each other with who can knock out more, random bar patrons. And then they end up continuing to stumble down the sidewalk with a to be continued. So more to come.
Yeah. I am yeah, there was that line. Conan said, "I see a dragon," and then Jericho said, "Dragons aren't real." And, whoa, a dragon! After getting out that smoke-filled limo. So, so sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was queuing up the super chat too.
Yeah.
Steve Engel, $5. Raj, cue the blinding lights to celebrate the weekend getting the Super Bowl halftime. That's right. I did think of it.
We'll have to do a celebration closer to the Super Bowl.
I like how that's become like your unofficial theme song.
Kasawi Pierre Antoine saying Omega looks like a blonde Tony Montana.
Again, love the appearance, love the entrance tonight. I feel like he's getting closer to just kind of getting somewhere of an identity.
Yeah, it was better than him not coming out in his gym shorts and a t-shirt. So it looked much better. He looked like a star.
Yeah, and when I say identity again, I know I'm just talking about in AEW. I know he's, I'm not talking about New Japan. I'm just saying it seems like since he's gotten to AEW, which is the first time he's been on regularly booked national television in America, it's been a struggle to find something that clicks is what I'm getting at.
And he kind of had more of that look that he had before his match with Tanahashi. When he was doing the promos with Tanahashi, it kind of reminded me of that vibe.
We see a kind of a trailer for an AEW Boundless by Director X, and it's a video package kind of talking about basically kind of how AEW's kind of come to be essentially in this first year, and we hear from Cody, we hear from Britt Baker, we hear from a slew of people. I'm sure if you missed it, I'm sure that they put the package somewhere on their social media. You can check it out.
Yeah, it was a really cool package, and we have it up on Wrestling Inc. That was by Director X made that. Mm-hmm. So really cool stuff.
So there you go. Click over to Wrestling Inc. Once you're done with us, and you can check that out.
Yeah. Tina Miller. We'll get to that. But Kenny Omega owns real clothes. Who knew? LOL.
Then we do get a promo from Jon Moxley. Another really solid promo as he's setting up his match against Kenny Omega. Fun fact I realized today is the anniversary. It was in 2012 on this day in history that the Shield debuted.
Yeah.
So for you Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley aficionados and biographers,
Happy Shield Day.
Happy Shield Day. I'll never forget too, because I was a huge fan of Ambrose as Moxley, and then I was a fan of him in FCW, and I was like, I probably pitched on podcasts for like a year, a million ideas of how to get him to the quote unquote main roster. And then for that week, it was Thanksgiving week. My entire family, we went to Hawaii. I completely unplugged. And then I came back only to learn that I missed Dean Ambrose.
You know what? It actually was 8 years ago today that they debuted the Shield at the Survivor Series. Yeah, I didn't know it was today, but that's awesome. Congratulations to Jon Moxley and Renee Young.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So he cuts this promo. A good Moxley promo, but yeah, in there, very subtle. He just drops the line of "I got a pregnant wife at home," and like literally collectively, all of us, because I'm watching everybody's social media timeline, all of us went like we're all like leaning closer to the screen, like rewinding. Like, did he say that?
Right? He's like, Wait, is that known?
Right. So yeah, so Renee, obviously formerly known as Renee Young, Renee Paquette, or Renee, what's her real last name? Is it Good?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she changed her name or not. Did she?
Nonetheless, Renee, Mrs. Moxley,
the former Renee Young.
Former Renee Young. So they are they are expecting. So, which again, obviously great for them. I already thought the fact that they were not waiting until pay-per-view and they were deciding to put this on a Dynamite, which, again, you want to pop good ratings on a Wednesday night. I get that. The fact they were deciding to put this Moxley Omega match so quickly on a Dynamite. To me, I thought, okay, well, that screams to me that they probably want Omega to win. They have a plan of why they would go ahead and burn this Omega world title match now already, figuring they wanted to win for whatever reason. And now you find this news out, and that now leads me more to believe, okay, maybe Mox is taking time off, or time off from AEW, or he's going to Japan to get a Japan loop in before Renee's further along, something. But I really feel like this kind of gives us a glimpse into the booking of that Moxley will disappear for a little bit from AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Meltzer that reported last week that they were. I mean, the plan was to have this match, like they were planning on going through with it. It seems, I mean, that show would pop a huge rating. And last year, AEW ratings were terrible in December. They did their worst ratings in their history last December, and they were getting beat by NXT. I think they got beaten twice in the demo by them, which never happens. So I don't know if it's just a way to pop up their rating and this is just a 1 week swerve or what's going on, but it did feel like they were delaying the match. It did. I do got to ask you this. Was that the most subtle breaking the news of a pregnancy in the body of a wrestling show ever? Like,
yeah, I mean,
most low key.
Yeah, it. And again, I question. I mean, it's not happy for them. I question, was that a great move to do? Because again, that's all anybody's talking about. And again, it was a really good promo, and we have some drama leading up to this match, which we'll talk to in a second when we get to the contract signing. I don't know, just that's dominating the headlines.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, these two, this Renee's so well liked by fans and by her colleagues in the industry, and everybody's kind of, for the most part, I think, pretty captivated by her and Moxley being married because their on-screen characters are such polar opposites. So everybody's like happy and talking about it. I'm like, it's almost like, again, they just are forgetting that he actually cut a good promo, pumping this match up. Right.
Yeah. No, that kind of set wrestling Twitter on fire there, more than anything I think on either show.
Yeah.
And they followed that, in WWE, they featured it on their storylines and also on Total Divas. So
yeah, it's not
it's well known between both companies.
So up next, we get Orange Cassidy up against Kip Sabian. Miro is on commentary, and this a good match. But I can't help a little bit but feel Orange Cassidy gets the win, and then right after he gets the win, we then see Miro hits the ring immediately, and they try to 2-on-1 Cassidy, and just before they can really do that effectively, here comes the rest of Best Friends. So setting up. Again, continuing to set up and build to the feud between these two groups. It feels like everybody's in a trio or a faction. Literally everybody is.
There's too many.
And there's more of it. We'll touch on this as we go. There's more. Literally everybody is gang aligned. Right. Orange Cat, again, he's entertaining, but I do feel like some of the specialness is starting to wear off because we're seeing him in too many regular situations, just having regular one-on-one matches, and he's talking more, he's moving more. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I agree 100%. I think the more he's wrestling, the less special each appearance is. He's kind of a special attraction in a way, shouldn't be on that much, and they got so many wrestlers that you don't need him on that often. So I agree. I feel like less is more with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, it's right. Less is more, and I know obviously they haven't been in arenas, in so long like anybody. I think back to when they were in arenas, the pops this guy would get when he would finally just do one little thing because he was so stone silent and still. And it was good to see him get the run with Jericho there, and that kind of gave him credibility that he can wrestle. And now I think they're taking it to like a little bit too far.
Yeah, you don't want to make him just another wrestler. He's got a real cool. He's got one of those gimmicks that you could show to your friends. I don't know if it would suck them in, but they would think it was. They'd be impressed. They'd be like, at the very least, they would find it amusing. So, right. I think it's good to protect that.
Absolutely. All right, contract time. Time to sign the contract between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. Omega introduced first by Tony Schiavone. He gets the big, this new entrance that they've been going with. They even introducing him as the cleaner, Kenny Omega. He's got the video, and Justin Roberts doing the voiceover, and then we got the girls out there doing the dance. And He comes out, yeah, and he looks $1 million. He's in a suit, got the shades on, looking cool as a cucumber. Then they introduce for Moxley. He doesn't show up, and then we see the camera in the back that Moxley has been just knocked out. He's unconscious on the ground, and I think some blood even. And they're all attending to him, and just complete unknown of what's happened here. And basically, Shivani asking Omega, "Do you have any thoughts about this? What do you think about this?" And Omega just kind of, he's John. You're not going to avoid this one. We've been trying to fight before, and injuries have come into play, and you're not going to avoid me. And he signs a contract, and that's that. So, I mean, is this a setup for Mox not even making it to the match?
That's kind of, I mean, otherwise it seemed kind of pointless. Unless they're doing, he goes into the match injured, so Omega wins, and it kind of gives him an out, and then he takes time off to go do New Japan and do Wrestle Kingdom.
That or unless we see security footage, or Moxley comes to tell us that like it was Omega who laid him out, and they're trying to just get some real bad guy, chicken shit behind Omega. I don't know. Yeah,
I think there's other ways to do that than, the guy laid out backstage. I feel like that's starting to get a little overdone. And they just did that with Matt Hardy. They've done it in the past as well. WWE has done it, so I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
That's it. I mean, we'll be able to talk about it as the weeks go on. I mean, if Kenny Omega, what is his character? Like, if he beats Moxley, do they want him to be the top guy who's a heel, or do they want him to be or is he a face? Like, how do you interpret him?
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of had him in this tweener stage for a while, kind of Adam Page as well. And while most of the other people on the roster, are either pretty much a clear-cut heel or clear-cut babyface. So
right.
I think Omega right now, he should be a total heel. I think his character had been floundering. It's been inconsistent, the last month or so. Pretty much since All Out. Like a couple weeks he's heelish, then he's buddies with the Young Bucks and helping him out, and then he's coming out in his gym shorts again. And then, this week he's got the shades and looking like a badass. So I think he just needs to get consistent with that.
Yeah, and I think going back to what we talked about earlier, I think some consistency up on the top of the card here will help them. One of the super chats earlier said kind of meh, and I don't know if I go as far as meh, but I do feel like a little bit of a decline in intensity, and so moving Jericho out of that top picture, and I think there is something missing in the main event picture for AEW.
Yeah, I mean, if the goal down the line is to build Adam Page as a top babyface, it really helps to have Omega as a top heel, and that would be my guess. Omega beats Moxley, and then they go to Omega and Page, and Page finally beats him for the title. But that's just me speculating.
All right, next up we get part 2 of the Inner Circle in Vegas, and this is really where the Hangover stuff comes in big. We see them all on the rooftop, all tipsy, drinking out of their own bottles. They got an Elvis impersonator up there, and then MJF proceeds to cut the for you Hangover fans, the Allen, we're all blood brothers, Wolfpack. Sammy's getting ready to cut his hand to make it official. They stop him before they do that, and then we cut to the next morning after their night, and Jericho wakes up with the Elvis impersonator, and MJF is in a bathtub. Sammy's sitting in a fountain. Somebody wrote all over him, or Sammy wrote all over MJF's face, "You're soft. I was here."
Sammy got married to 3
women. We see Santana sitting in the lobby feeding a bunch of chickens that are roaming around, and then they hear the crying of a baby, and they open up a door, and there is Hornswoggle in a diaper.
And Ortiz apparently was like on Molly or something. He was just doing weights.
Yeah.
Like a madman. No.
And actually, if you take a look, if you watch it back, you can spy a Wardlow passed out on a piano in one of the rooms. So very fun stuff. So and then actually they come back and they have Jericho there live at Daly Center on commentary real quick, just saying he has a headache and he just got back from the trip, and he's pumping he and Jake Hager next week against SCU. So they're going to slow build this I mean, which I think is absolutely the perfect thing to do. You can kill so many weeks and have so much creative fun with this. They're going to slow burn this Jericho MJF thing.
Yeah, and as they should. I thought they did it the first match too soon, but this is some of the most entertaining stuff in my opinion. And as far as just easy to watch entertainment, I think it's the most entertaining stuff on any of the shows right now. As far as intense, like high level stuff, I still think it's the Roman stuff on SmackDown.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Okay, so back to action. We get Pac, who's back having his first match in AEW. 252 days to be exact, and he goes up against the Blade. Of course, has Bunny and Butcher out there. Eddie Kingston's on commentary. Of course, as you guys remember, that's how they ended Dynamite last week. Was Pac coming back and upset at how Kingston has drawn a wedge between the brothers Phoenix and Penta. And so we get a match here. Good to see both back. Good to see Pac back. Excuse me. Pac ends up getting the win via submission, and then after that, Eddie Kingston starts taunting at him. Butcher beats him down. Kingston's in the ring. They're all beating up and holding down Pac. Here comes Phoenix. Phoenix starts to get beaten down, and so now it's like, well, where's Penta? Where's Penta? Here comes Penta. He's got a chair. Who's he going to choose and side with? His alliance with Kingston or his shaky relationship that it's been with his brother Phoenix? And he ultimately chooses Phoenix and Pac. So the original Death Triangle is back, looking like they're heading again. Another trio. Now Kingston, a trio with Butcher and Blade. So that's where we're going.
Yeah, and we'll get to Brandy and stuff later too, because that seems like another trio, kind of, with Vicky, Nyla, and Jade. I mean, Pac looked good. He looked awesome. I'm a big Pac fan. I think it's great that he's back. So it just strengthens your roster, but kind of to the point. There's too many factions, with best friends, and Pac just seems like one of those characters that he doesn't need anybody. Like, he'd just be that kind of loner type that's just out, for himself. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I mean, they had started the Death Triangle before the pandemic hit, like right before, and weren't able to go with it. So we'll see where they go. But it seems like he doesn't need it.
No, I would agree with that. Marie Johnson, $5. Is Kenny going to be with FTR? All his promos lately had some kind of mention of North Carolina.
I think that's a spoof on Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan used to play for North Carolina, right? And that Correct. His entrance when he would come out. So I think that's a play on that.
Yeah, he was a walk-on at University of North Carolina. In fact. Yeah. Louis 13, $4.99. Tony saying, "Look at Pac's body." Eddie saying, "Paul's." After telling JR it's 2020, not a big deal, but sloppy by Eddie. Paul's is a slang word term in New York City. I don't even know if I heard the commentary because I might have had the volume up on NXT at the time. So. Yeah,
I was listening to Eddie. I mean, Eddie just sounds natural. He doesn't sound like he's worried about what he's gonna say, or saying the wrong thing. I mean, he might be worried about not cussing, but other than that, that guy can go.
Yeah, and I know I got slammed by the hardcores that the people that like search for comments and tweets days after. Like I kept getting hammered on like 4 days later. And we've talked about it on this podcast before, and I noted about it at Full Gear. Eddie can talk. Eddie can work. I just wish his appearance of his ring gear when he's working. And I know he was paying homage to this guy and this and that. Like, I don't care. It's a visual business, and you should pay homage, but I think everything needs to align. The Undertaker can't have the music walk slow and come out wearing spandex, looking like he's getting ready to do a Pilates class. He had to wear all black. Right. The way Eddie dresses like tonight, Timberland work boots and the jewelry, and right. He dresses like he sounds and like what I believe he probably just dresses in his everyday life. So why is he when he wears the traditional wrestling of gear and that again he's paying respect. He looks like he's playing wrestler, and that is not what I want from somebody who doesn't fall in the category of fake. He's not fake. I just need that to happen. I just feel like the identity that visually just doesn't look right.
Yeah, no, I made the point that same night, like he could have been paying homage to Randy Savage, but if he came out with that tight shirt with stars on it and pink, pink tights with stars and purple or yellow spandex. I'm a huge Randy Savage fan. I love the thought of paying tribute to him, but that wouldn't have been a good idea either. I mean, you got to look the part, and you're on a TV show ultimately. I mean, it's an entertainment show. If a movie is casting someone for that role, and then the wardrobe department came with that, they'd probably get fired right off the bat.
Right, and I always think when you want to pay respect, when wrestlers want to pay respect to other characters or performers, pay respect, but integrate it
right
in what you're already doing with your gear. So like for Eddie Kingston, maybe it's if there's a color scheme that you want to do, maybe wear certain colors like that, but do it while still dressing, as I just said, that he dresses, for promos, or like I think Tommy Dreamer's a great example. Tommy Dreamer, for his entire since he became Tommy Dreamer, got really established in ECW. He's always had the pants, and then if he wrestles with a t-shirt or not a t-shirt, depending on what age Tommy Dreamer. So like when he wanted to pay homage to Dusty Rhodes, what did he do? He came up with the black and gold polka dot Dusty, still his pants and the gear he wears, but it's a way to pay homage. Tommy Dreamer didn't start coming out wearing the single, short tights and having his legs and everything. Like he didn't totally change up his ring gear. He just adopted the color scheme and some logos and some homage to pay to Dusty. And there's a million other cases you can make of guys and girls finding little ways to take color scheme or appearance, work it into their gear that fits their identity. And that's what I'm trying to get at with the Eddie Kingston stuff.
Exactly. Or do the Tiger Driver 91, something like that. Do one of his moves.
Shooter McGavin, €2, I believe. AEW has more fashions than the Wanderers movie.
I've never saw that, but I like the Shooter McGavin reference.
Oh, absolutely. Shooter. So then we get to backstage. More chaos. Security is just a miss tonight at the Daily Center. As we see Jade Cargill, she's got Brandy Rhodes on the ground, her arm wrapped around a steel chair, with Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose holding the referee's back. Jade talking some smack, and then she steps on the chair, trying to break the arm, something similar to what we saw FTR do a couple weeks ago, which commentary notes, in fact. And Jade goes off with Nyla and Vicky, and some other babyface ladies come to Brandy's aid. So again, the trios continue.
Yeah, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill looks good. She looks like a star. She Pillmanized Brandy's arm there. And Brandy's another one where she's kind of a baby face one week, and then she's coming out managing a heel, then wrestling like a baby face. I know she really wants to be a heel, but she's such a good baby face. She's great in that role, and she doesn't need to manage someone all the time. I
agree with you. She's a much more believable and natural baby face. I mean, hell, she's the chief brand officer, so it just feels more natural. I mean, it's kind of like Stephanie McMahon is such a good heel. I get that they always let her be heel because people just love to hate on the character, and she plays it so well. So I get that she plays that heel and then flips a switch and is the smiling, positive, brand executive.
Even that
she
I don't
is.
like.
Well, you don't. I mean, but again, I if Brandy had Stephanie's heel chops, then I could see, okay, we got to have Brandy out there as a heel, but she doesn't, and she's a natural babyface. So yeah, I get it. It's like they've been throwing darts to get Brandy on TV. They tried to at first, have the deal with her and Kong and all of them, and they're cutting hair, and then that got scrapped, and then she's out there with Cody, and then then she's managing this. It's like they want her on TV, but they can't find that lane.
Yeah.
And I hope they do, because again, she's a good baby face.
And she showed last week. She cut a hell of a promo. So she's got character, she's got mic skills, and she can go. She just needs to find the right thing and stay consistent.
Super chat here from JK Broadstock 93. Miro versus Omega could be a huge title match. Money thoughts. They're a long way away from that. Again, they're just, at least to Raj and I, they're just starting to kind of feel like they're getting Kenny in a lane. He's finding himself, finding a pattern. And I mean, Miro, and I'm a huge Miro. I was a huge Rusev fan. I was excited for him to be in AEW. They're a long way away from getting him in world title material pictures.
Yeah, he feels like less of a star than when he was in WWE. With the way he's being used right now. And I'm talking about WWE at the end when he's getting squashed by Lashley. just by being Kip Sabian's sidekick with the video games. I mean, they can turn it around, and he looks like a beast, but he's kind of he's a total afterthought right now. So,
yeah, really is. I mean, he came in, just cut that promo that was the headline of the night, and apparently pissed WWE off. And but then it's after that, it's been nothing. All right, up next we get Serena Deeb, who is Serena Deeb's coming in. She is going up against Thunder Rosa, who is the NWA. Was that backwards? No, Serena Deeb's the champion.
Yeah,
Serena Deeb is the NWA Women's World Champion. Sorry, up against the challenger, Thunder Rosa. I'll tell you what, folks. This, for in my opinion, one of the best women's matches that AEW Dynamite has ever had.
Yeah.
Good match, but I guess. But here's my only. I know why they did it. But I guess my only complaint is this really great match. Then all of a sudden we get Rebels out there. She distracts the referee onto the floor. Britt Baker appears. Now, Britt her and Thunder Rosa have been going back and forth really heavily on Twitter, trash talking each other. So Britt shows up, grabs Rosa, pulls her out onto the ramp, and DDTs on the ramp. Now Rosa is just dead weight. Britt throws her back in there, so Deeb didn't see it, ref didn't see it. And you just think naturally that would just be your finish of like, okay, Britt just blatantly cost Thunder Rosa the match. But once Deeb gets back to Rosa, no, that's not it. Thunder Rosa kicks out, false finish, and then they go for another at least 5-6 minutes until finally Deeb does hit a Styles Clash, a modified Styles Clash, and she gets the win. So Serena Deeb gets the win, and then after the replays and everything, then Thunder Rosa's coming to, and Britt has since made herself back out at ringside. She's now sitting with the heels on the heel side of the ringside, and Thunder Rosa goes after her, and then they have a big brawl. I know they wanted Serena Deeb to get more credit for the win, so so they let it go for a few more minutes. But I just still think like that was just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I did like when Britt interfered and Thunder Rosa still kicked out, because we're so trained that that's the finish. Outside interference hits a move. That's the finish. I didn't like that it's a DDT on the stage, because that should be something devastating.
Yeah, I mean, she went. I mean, Thunder Rosa sold it great. She went dead weight. She went. I mean, like to the point of like where Britt actually even had. You could, if you watch it back, Britt struggled for a second because like Thunder Rosa like made a point to just go dead weight.
Yeah, absolutely. The only other problem I had with this match is I think this was one of the best women's matches on Dynamite since they started on the show, and it's an NWA match. You know what I mean? It's not branded as an AEW match, and again, they're just. Their own women's division is kind of just floundering, and they're people watching the show. They're like, "Oh, the NWA, their women can really go. This is a great match." So I don't know. I think I didn't like that, and I agree with you with Britt Baker going back to ringside. That was just kind of odd. But yeah, I mean, clearly they're going with Britt Baker feuding with Thunder Rosa next, and I think that'll actually be really good.
That will be, and I'll give credit to commentary. I thought commentary did a nice job when Rosa starts attacking Britt. Commentary actually at least kind of acknowledged, like, Britt came back out here. The nerve, the balls of her to like think that she could just kind of like just kind of like almost just taunting it essentially.
Right.
So I mean that makes it sound better. It was odd, but it was just like Raj said. Normally the formula would be outside interference, finish. That's it, but. The brawl was good between both Britt and Thunder Rosa. Brett Murphy didn't watch AEW, but Miro's video game segment is the true definition of Raj's favorite word. Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, fuckery. So
yeah,
that's your favorite word?
Sure. Well, I haven't used it as much lately, but it is. Yeah, absolutely.
$4.99 from our pal Jackson Callant, a nostalgic nod to SES with the go to sleep attempt.
Yeah. Serena Deeb went with the GTS.
Oh, the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there trying to figure out acronyms like SES.
Yeah. When she was in the Straight Edge Society, had her head shaved. That was pretty cool, and good catch on JR's part, because I don't even know if JR was with the company when SCS was a thing, or as a commentators, and you hear the people in the company that work there don't really watch the shows unless they have to.
That would have been
It's 2012.
No, earlier than that, I think. 2012, Rumble 2011. So January 2011, Punk had Mason Ryan with him. I think Straight Edge Society was more like 2009 or 2010.
Okay. That was his first heel turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a decade ago. So yeah, I mean, so JR. So I guess at that point, JR was. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much off. I think they brought him on maybe like a big Mania match every now and again at that point, but Michael Cole was clearly the main guy.
Yeah.
All right. After all the shenanigans of the women, we get a promo with Matt's favorite, who's not here. I guess he's not making Matt's favorite, John Silver, and Anna Jay. And basically, they say that Anna Jay, the last time that she went up against Sheeta, she was a rookie, and Sheeta took advantage of her as a rookie, and now Anna Jay is ranked number 5 in the AEW women's rankings. And so Mr. Brody Lee called Tony Khan and demanded Anna Jay get a women's title shot, and that's what's going to happen next week on Dynamite. So
Anna Jay, John Silver, I know he's getting a big following from BTE, but if you don't see it, I didn't see it in this promo with John Silver, but I did with Anna Jay. I thought Anna Jay just really came across like a star. Her promo, she had some cliche lines, but she delivered it really well to where I thought it was great. It seems early, but I almost think you should have her beat Sheeta for the title. I think it needs a spark.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, again, this sounds like I hate everything that's in Japanese wrestling. I'm listening to myself here. I mean, I don't. That's not the agenda. But again, I'm just looking from a standpoint of, I don't know. Sheeta hasn't. I don't buy into Sheeta. I just haven't.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really have that charisma, whereas Riho did. If we want to talk about Joshi talent, I thought Riho really did, and Riho was great in that role. I think Nyla Rose probably should have won the title since she's with Vicky Guerrero now, but it needs a spark.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jackson Callan saying Straight Edge Society debuted November of 2009 and disbanded in December of 2010. I didn't realize they were together that long. And Google's great. Look up the CM Punk, do CM Punk Riot Cow Palace on YouTube. And there is a great video of CM Punk doing the Straight Edge Society gimmick at the Cow Palace in San Francisco before his match with The Undertaker. And he got just insane heat where it looked like a riot was going to break out. And they had to cue The Undertaker's music early because it was getting so heated in there.
And that's on YouTube?
Yeah, that's on YouTube. But yeah, that's when he was with the Straight Edge Society. And man, he was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was good stuff. It was good stuff, what they did with Deeb, and then taking Gallows, and who had previously been Festus and been saying that it was drug induced essentially, and that's why he was Festus. And I mean, it was good stuff. It was good shit. All right, finally, good shit, pal. Main event. We have the AEW TNT champion Darby Allin teaming up with Cody, going up against FTW champion Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Look, this exactly what needed to happen, which was, Team Taz needed to win, I thought, and they get it. And again, obviously, there's no title that's being changed hands here, and it's a tag match, so that always allows for room to let guys be protected. But ultimately, get Brian Cage gets the win on Darby Allin, so they get the victory. And then after the fact, post match, they're looking to Team Taz looking to beat them down, and then here comes Will Hobbs, who's got a chair. It looks like he's just even the numbers, and then Will Hobbs knocks out knocks out Cody, and he is joined. It looks like he's joined Team Taz officially.
I liked it. I liked everything about it. I liked the Will Hobbs turn. I didn't see that coming. Sorry,
you look distracted.
I'm getting some text from Matt.
Where's he at?
He had some work stuff.
Okay.
But he's saying he could jump on, but he didn't get to watch the full show. So you guys in the chat, let us know if you want to just ask general questions, and we can. I think he'll be happy.
Well,
to
tell him
jump
we're
on.
already done. We're already done with AEW. We just spent 45 minutes on it. We're done. I'm done.
Yeah. All right. So the Hobbs turn was great. The only thing I would have changed is I would have had Cody take the fall. Like, Darby just won the title. This is his first match. I don't know if he had a match on Dark. I don't get to watch Dark every week. But since this was his first match as champion, I don't think he should have been beat. Cody can get beat, and it doesn't do anything to him. You shouldn't overbeat. You shouldn't beat him too much. But in this case, I think Brian Cage pinning Cody, it does more for Cage. That's the only thing I would have changed. But I thought this match was great, and I really liked that turn. I thought it was a strong way to end the show.
I agree. Just what you said there, because I remember thinking to myself as we went into that match, and then I'm looking at NXT side by side. I'm like, okay, NXT's got this great women's match they're finishing with a match, and then we still have whatever Finn's going to say or do. I remember thinking, like, what ending could happen to this AEW tag match that's like a big bang to go out on? So yeah, kind of making a new heel, having an addition to the Team Taz a turn, I thought it was a real smart move, and I also agree. Darby just won it. Darby was a guy prior to winning it. We said many weeks on here like how often they were just kind of beating him, and and he's got such star potential. So, but
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we're nitpicking.
Yeah, exactly. Overall, super entertaining show. Easy to watch top to bottom. So yeah, I thought it was really good. Tina Miller. If Cody has 35,000 friends who accompany him to the ring, why do they not come out to help him when he's getting killed? Cody needs new friends. That's a good point. Shooter McGavin saying, in 2015, Miro drove to the ring in a tank at WrestleMania. In 2020, he is crying over a game of Pac-Man. Can't wait to hear his best man speech. Shaming Gaming. Great. That's pretty
great
good.
hashtag.
Matt, I let people know you had to work late tonight. You weren't able to catch all of the shows, but I figure we could, when we talk about Survivor Series and some of the news, you could definitely chime on, and we're getting a lot of chats for you too.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
All right, so that was AEW Dynamite. So again, they're on their move to December 2nd with what are they calling that episode of Dynamite, Raj? Winter is coming?
Yeah, winter is coming. A little Game of Thrones reference.
All right, so let's jump over to NXT, coming to you, of course, from the Capitol Wrestling Center. And we kick it off with another repeat of the week prior, but now a different champion, is the NXT North American champion, Leon Ruff, who, of course, won it from Johnny Gargano last week, up against Johnny Gargano, who was just pissed about this. And this is another great little wrinkle to the story. They're having this competitive match. Gargano's having the struggles of Ruff. But we think that he might have, and then all of a sudden what happens? Here comes Damian Priest out. Damian Priest has Ruff on the outside and just stiffly punches Ruff to the ground, and that, of course, causes a DQ. So Leon Ruff wins by DQ, and Johnny Gargano is pissed because he just missed out on winning his title back.
That's nothing for nothing. That's freaking hilarious. That's entertaining. And to see Gargano goes berserk and bonkers over it. It's really good storytelling, actually.
It reminds me so much of the 1-2-3 Kid Razor Ramon storyline, where you had the big upset. Then remember, Razor Ramon had to put up like $15,000 to get the rematch, and then Kid just took the money and ran.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's entertaining, and with NXT you don't get a lot of that, like the kind of comedy and just lightheartedness a little bit, and I can see people arguing that you shouldn't have that for a title. But I found myself getting a kick out of it. Plus, it was one of those matches where you could see it going either way. You could see them having Gargano win it back, or Ruff holding on to it. So it did kind of keep your interest on who was going to win. And Ruff did some really cool stuff in that match.
He did, and then they started with the comedy because when Priest, right before Priest decks him, he looks at him and very audibly goes, "Sorry, kid," and then he knocks him out. And then when the ref calls for the bell, and he says, Ruff wins by DQ. Johnny Gargano, whose nickname is Johnny Wrestling, is screaming, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" Like as if he's forgot the rules of wrestling of what a DQ means, and the title can't change hands. So good stuff, and this is the start of it. It's going to go on through the rest of the night, and they pick up the intensity and seriousness, which helps Leon Ruff, which we'll get to as we go here. So we tease what's coming up throughout the night. We get a blindfold match between Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis. So these two guys doing the whole blindfold thing until eventually Grimes ends up accidentally hitting the referee, takes his mask off, realizing that he hit the referee. So now he tries to keep his hood off and to go attack Lumis. He's telling the crowd to be quiet, but that does not work as Dexter Lumis still able to manhandle Cameron Grimes. Mask on or mask off. Eventually, though, Grimes ends up just basically retreating and going through the crowd, and so we get a no contest, essentially.
Yeah, again, another kind of comedy segment, I guess you'd call it.
Entertaining.
It was another entertaining segment. Is this the first blindfold match since Jake the Snake and the Model at WrestleMania? I think it's 7.
Daniel Bryan had to wear one once.
Yeah, they've had to do one since. WrestleMania 7 was 91. They've had to have one since 91.
I cannot think of any.
Daniel Bryan had to wear one at a tag match as part of Team Hell No, I remember. But it wasn't like what you're saying, a straight up match.
All right, someone in the super chat, if you could think of any, let us know.
Well, what I was interested to see here was like a blind. I mean, they have a couple fans there, but like a blindfold match so heavily relies on like the fans, kind of like, he's over there. Like I don't, you know what I mean? It's like it was. So I was like, I wonder how this is going to come off, but they pulled it off. They didn't keep him blindfolded for too long.
And you know what? It's interesting with the crowd noise tonight. In that main event segment at the end, I'm guessing they had piped in noise as well as the crowd noise at ringside, but that was the loudest NXT crowd has sounded like this whole time, as far as the USA show goes. Yeah,
no, it was loud. All right, so moving backstage again, the Leon Ruff stuff.
Good call, Tammy. Triple H and D'Lo, they had one on Raw. Good call.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Triple H and D'Lo. So backstage, William Regal's kind of he's pissed off at Damian Priest for kind of ruining a title match like that. Priest kind of like, oh, it's just joking around, and basically at some point kind of basically says, Ruff's kind of a bit of a joke of a champion, so like let's not get all worked up about this. Well, Leon Ruff hears this, approaches Priest, confronts him, and Priest tries to like say, no, you don't understand, and then Ruff hauls off and smacks Priest. Like saying, I'm no joke. I'm not anybody's joke, and all of y'all will learn. So, I like this. Add another wrinkle here is that Leon Ruff's not going to be just some lackey.
How long do you think they keep him having the title? Do you think they keep it through Takeover?
Well, so I'll just jump to this now. So later in the night, he basically said Leon Ruff gets confronted by William Regal again, and Ruff says, "I'll take on both of them." So next week, I think they're having a triple threat between the three of them. I could see Leon Ruff. Because you have the three of them, I can see Leon Ruff winning it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, you have Damian Priest take out Gargano, and Ruff pins him, gets the cheap pin. Whoa. Yeah. Matt just disappeared into the darkness.
So Leon Ruff quickly becoming a major part of this. All right, back from the commercial break, we get a vignette with Shotzi Blackheart. She looks like she's constructing something. And she comes to find out, and she says, Candace, you better get yourself an army, because on Sunday, December 6th, we are going to war. And then we get the official announcement, TakeOver War Games 2020 will be the next pay-per-view for NXT, Sunday, December 6th. So it should be noted that the Wednesday AEW Dynamite on December 2nd will be going head-to-head with the go-home show for NXT, doing their go-home stuff for War Games. So going to be a big week for the Wednesday night shows.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have it at the ThunderDome, because I don't think they could fit 2 cages in the Performance Center.
Oh, that's a good question, and we'll get to our news later. Come December 6th, where will the ThunderDome be?
Yeah, and so it would be a way to go out with a bang, I guess, But so it looks like it's going to be Team Shotzi versus Team Candace, obviously, and then also the Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee's team.
And up next, we get kind of an indication of what team what Team Lorraine might look like, as we have Candice and Indy Hartwell in a tag match against Casey and Caden. Casey and Caden. Candice and Indy get the victory. Indy look, I think Indy's just got such a good look here. We'll put that out. But after the match, Lorraine standing tall over Carter with Hartwell, and we'll get a tease a little bit later of who their partners might be for the War Games.
Sure.
Then we get a promo, a vignette.
Real quick, Matt, Tina Miller saying, thanks for reading my work. She appreciates it.
Yeah, of course. I was not expecting that, honestly. Not to sound insulting or anything. That was really, really well done, actually, Tina Miller. Really well done. Kudos. If you guys haven't had a chance, there's a way for you to see what things on Twitter I like and whatnot. Check out Tina Miller's little write-up on Roman Reigns. Very, very well done.
Oh, I saw that about why fans owe him an apology, right? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well done.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so we get a vignette for Arturo Ruiz, who you might recognize from the Raw Underground. So he's come above ground to NXT, despite the fact, Raj, that Arturo Ruiz was drafted to Raw some weeks ago.
Yeah.
Told you. Weak ass draft. I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, already you have people showing up. I mean, granted, Survivor Series time, but let's not act like they're not going to do it anyway.
Yeah. So we get Ruiz, who doesn't. He gets the vignette, so he gets the hype up vignette. So you think he's going to have a match against a jobber and just do a quick squash, but no. We come back, he gets the jobber's entrance. He doesn't even get a TV entrance. He's in the ring. Kushida gets the entrance, and Kushida beats him. But it was a cool finish. Ruiz is laying on the mat trying to get some kind of ankle lock on Kushida, and then Kushida just basically just does a back bridge, pinning Ruiz's shoulders to the mat. So Kushida gets a victory, but they try to protect Ruiz in the process, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he's got kind of a cool look to him, he's got that MMA thing going. So
yeah, well, I think he was an actual Brazilian. Yeah, he has he's got some real credentials. So
yeah.
What were you gonna call him? Brazilian what?
Well, I didn't know if he had Brazilian credentials in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or if he's from Brazil and has feats of accomplishments in the country. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody will correct me tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see what do we got. We got the Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Toni Storm. This is where I was going at earlier with how we start to see War Games taking hold. This match was hard hitting. First off, watch this match. It's entertaining. All four ladies can go, and they do not. There ain't no break a nail bullshit here. They are going at it. Toni Storm, Ember Moon gets the victory. After the match, we see them get attacked by Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and it looks like Candice, Indy, Tony, or excuse me, Candice, Indy, Raquel, and Dakota are going to be a team, and then it would look like Shotzi might have some partners here in Toni Storm and Ember Moon.
I think that could be a hell of a match. I think that.
Oh hell yeah!
And when you look, I was going to say, when you look at Team Raw versus Team SmackDown at Survivor Series this Sunday, and the women's match, and then you look at the NXT match with what they're potentially putting together for War Games, this NXT blows that Raw versus SmackDown match by a million miles. It's not even close.
It should, and I would argue almost in any form or connotation. Because if you stack up the rosters of the women's division on Raw and SmackDown versus the NXT roster, it's dude, that NXT roster just goes on when you list them all out. Right. It just keeps going of talents that you want to watch, that you get their characters, their layered out characters, and really damn good in the ring, obviously too. But wait, yeah. Would it be Shotzi's team?
Yeah. So it's Shotzi's team versus Candice, and I think they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Aew.
I don't know how I feel about her having her own team. Should I care or no?
Well, they're giving her a good they're giving her a good push right now. So and they got they have a storyline. I mean, that's the one thing with so many of the women on NXT. They have a storyline. So.
Oh my God, yes, that's true.
Yeah. Well, you figure Shotzi's going to have. It's teams of four. Shotzi's going to have herself, Toni, and Toni Storm, and Ember Moon. So yeah, who would that fourth girl be?
Rhea Ripley, maybe.
Oh my God.
Hell of a team right there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it going here. We see the SUV show up. Pat McAfee and crew, they've showed up. They want to hear what Finn has to say. And the whole night, by the way, they keep pumping that Finn Balor's not yet there, but he's coming. What's he going to say? All right, we get August Gray versus Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher gets the win. After the match, though, Thatcher's just, being very disrespectful. And then we get Tommaso Ciampa, who comes out and just staring down Thatcher. And, of course, Ciampa's been cutting promos in recent weeks saying he doesn't like the conduct of some of the people in the locker room and the lack of respect. And staring down Thatcher, and Thatcher basically just screams, "I have no problem with you," and backs himself away. So that's going to be Thatcher's first major feud in NXT. Matt, what do you think? I know you haven't been a big Timothy Thatcher guy.
No, I haven't. And here's what I was just going to suggest. They need to put him in that group with, what's his name? He's football player.
Pat McAfee. I'm dead serious. It's the one thing he's missing, his promos. He could be the leader because he'd be the moreover of the three guys that would be in the group. I don't know. I think he needs something. Unless I'm wrong, unless all these fans absolutely love catch as can wrestling and are very entertained by it, then I'll shut up. But I'm not. I'm super bored by him.
I mean, the ratings kind of reflect that. They're usually not the best during his segments.
What do you think about that? Putting him with McAfee and making him like, I don't know.
Well, Pete Dunne's kind of already, like, you have Oni and Danny. Pete Dunne's already that hard-hitting, real fighter.
I meant of the four, obviously. Sorry, but you still can't. Like, what do you call it? Like the other group that has four guys. Not anymore.
I think McAfee's probably going to be the fourth guy. Like, I think he's going to be in that match. At least for War Games, he'll be in that one.
Yeah, because the payoff is Adam Cole kicking the shit out of him in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, you definitely could. But yeah, I agree with you, Matt. Just as a character, it's just not there. So he would definitely benefit.
Got a super chat, Shooter McGavin. I think he's asking all three of us. Next 4 horsewomen, NXT talent only.
Dude, you could pick like 5 groups of them.
Throw the dart on the wall.
Seriously.
You can't go wrong.
I mean, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley,
Yep.
Io Shirai. I mean, it just goes all over. Ember Moon.
It's so wild that, and I know this isn't like brand new, but
Johnny Wrestling's wife, what's her name?
Candace.
I mean, there's so many people you could pick.
Yeah.
It's so wild that 10 years ago, even 6 years ago, how shallow the booking of the women was and the talent they had. I mean, obviously 10 years ago was bra and panty matches, and then even 6 years ago when they were just trying to creep up when they give the divas a chance. How the fact that now in the WWE machine, they are just 4th, 5th, 6th string loaded with female talent.
Yes.
And what I love is that it's not even a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal that women are the main event. You don't have to be like,
we don't talk about that anymore. It's become half the shows in a month. The women are in the main event spot, and we don't even look different to that now.
Right. And Sasha versus Bayley, we mentioned it last week. It was the most watched women's match in wrestling since the pandemic.
Wow. Wow. All right, so
did I say most watched women's match? Is the most watched match in general? Yeah.
Match in general. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we come to find out. So I kind of got ahead of myself earlier. So we get Damian Priest in a match. He's out there in a quick match. Leon Ruff's out there. Gargano's out there. Shenanigans ensue. Ultimately, that's again what leads to Leon Ruff basically telling William Regal, "I don't care. I'll go against both of them." We also get a tape of Regal last night. He's trying to go to the home of Boa. This is, we mentioned last week, Boa, the crazy kind of mystery Asian man, the dragon, a lot of mystery, smoke and mirrors here. And Boa's freaked out. He's been hung up in his house. He's like, I can't. Referred to as his master, and said that she's coming. Regal goes, "Are you talking about Xia Li? We haven't seen her in 2 weeks." Boa says she's not here either. She's hiding, and she's coming. So a mystery of a higher power.
Yeah, teasing someone
That-
new.
Yeah, that was good. That was good that Regal asked that question to get that out of the way for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, this seems super hokey to me right now, but I'll give them a chance to kind of see where they're going, and if it leads to a cool debut or someone new coming in that's super impressive,
Right.
then it's
Raj,
worth it.
do we know? I
We'll
mean,
forget
that's especially odd right now in a pandemic where international travel is limited. Do we know of any?
I would get.
Do
I
we
would
know
guess
of
it's
anybody?
someone from the Performance Center.
Okay.
Has to be somebody here. Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce Brennan bringing up Dark Side of the Ring season 3, doing 13 episodes, and we'll talk about this more later. But yeah, I wanted to bring it up because these disappear. Brian Pillman, Jake the Snake's Family, WCW versus North Korea are some of the early ones. They got a China episode as well. So yeah, I mean, I love that show, so I can't wait.
Yep. Not a bad episode.
Yeah.
All right, and now for the main event match of the night, Aew Shirai defending her title against Rhea Ripley. Again, another just freaking awesome match here, multi-segment match. Rhea's bleeding. Spots in the table. I mean, everything here. I'm not going to go move for move. Go watch it if you didn't see it. Ends up after that spot on the table. Aew Shirai ends up doing a moonsault onto the legs of Rhea Ripley, which are already compromised from the match, and Aew Shirai gets the victory in the pin. We do get the babyface kind of treatment after the fact. The two ladies on the ramp, giving the hug, giving the hands up, holding the title, and then that segues immediately into Finn Balor finally arriving to the ring, gets right into the ring, cuts a promo, talking about he's been gone and this and that, and he's basically just interrupted immediately by Pat McAfee and company. Pat McAfee comes out running down all the credentials of all the people that they have put on the sideline and attacked, and they've dominated and they are controlling NXT. To which Finn Balor then responds and says, "You know what? It's easy to let the mice play when the cat's gone, but the cat's back, and look what else I dragged in. Lights come out, lights go off, lights back on. There's the Undisputed Era." And as Raj noted, Undisputed Era and Pat McAfee's company group, they just brawling all over the place. And manufactured or not, it was a loud, big ending to NXT.
It felt like a big, just a huge reaction when they came out, whatever they did. And it was cool. It was a hot moment, and closing the show hot. And I thought it was great. I thought Pat McAfee was gold. I thought the Rhea Ripley match was just awesome with Aew Shirai. I mean, you knew it would be. I was kind of surprised. I mean, I didn't think they'd do a title change, but I was kind of surprised they beat Rhea Ripley again. But still, it was a really great match, and just a really good episode of NXT.
Jackson Callens, 499, says, "Bedtime for me. Thanks, guys. I don't watch NXT, but it aired longer tonight than AEW, so I saw the ending. Pat is gold and future is bright. Just a great ending." And I think it's a great point. Again, I said this at the very top of the show. After NXT, they had The Undertaker Last Ride running on USA Network. Then they have the Miz reality show. So it's all executive produced by Vince and Kevin Dunn. They're controlling USA tonight, so this was a chance for them to really manipulate and do an overrun for NXT. And that's a great point. Will Hobbs does the heel turn. I see it, and then I click over, and I saw everything they wanted me to see for the ending of NXT. I really think NXT, I know they need to just do this every week. Do the overrun. If you have the ability to do it with USA, do the overrun.
Yeah, for a while there with the overrun, they weren't gaining much. And so I think that's why they stopped. But now, yeah, I agree. I think tonight they probably gained a lot, and then with the Last Ride airing on free TV after that, and they cut right to it too. So it'll be interesting to see the ratings tomorrow. For sure.
Raj, what do you think for tonight?
I thought both shows were really good. I'd give the edge to AEW this week. Just because, again, the Hangover stuff with Jericho, I got a real kick out of that. So yeah, I just give a slight nod to AEW.
Matt, I'll ask you. I know you've been really busy. I know you didn't get to see everything. So I'll just say, Matt, for anything you've heard on social, anything you've heard from us, anything you saw, did anything stand out tonight or even something you didn't see that you want to go see?
Yes. Now, I didn't get to see the ending of either show. I didn't get to see the final ending. So I don't think turning Will Hobbs heel, I'm just hearing that from you all, is enough to keep people on that network. No offense to Will Hobbs, but that ain't how you end the show. It puts him in a great position, but in a position that I'm going to stay on that show over what was on with the girls match, and then the overrun with Pat McAfee and company.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, for people who care about ratings, I know a lot of people don't care, but if you do, it'll be interesting.
Super chat here, $5. Crazy screen name. I'm sorry, NKB0321. Do you think they will do Demon Balor versus Karrion Kross when he returned? It's been a while since Demon Balor showed up.
No, but they should.
Yeah, I'd love to see it, but it really feels like he's just moved on from it. Like they're just done with it. So, I mean, when he does bring it back, it will be huge, but I don't know if he will.
Yeah, well, we also don't know when Kross is going to be back. That's the big mystery, too. John Cena's bald spot. What are your thoughts on the wrestler saying F Eddie Guerrero on the anniversary of his passing as a way to draw heat? Yeah, I forget the name. I saw this on an independent show. A wrestler tried to use it as cheap heat in his match on the day that it was the anniversary of Eddie's death. He since apologized and I mean,
Alex Ocean.
If you know what they're trying to do it for, even though it's in bad taste, you know, that's a wrestler on the indie show trying to shoot for a home run, and get people talking, or whatever have you. It's done in a context that's not real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think it was
right.
If he just went on Twitter, if he went on Twitter and just like randomly wrote that, different story.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it when WWE used his death.
Hated it. We all hated it. But like at the same time, JBL, a lot of people that were super close to him were like defending, like, no, you don't get it. He would be all over this like flies on shit, you guys. He would love this.
Yeah.
You
see Paul? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I think the devil's advocate to that, because I think you're right, and I think Raj, you're getting ready to go to this. Paul Bear, how they used him in the Punk Taker stuff, and it's like Paul would have loved this.
I love the fact that they showed that and they aired that, showing that he would love that. I love that they did that, because I hope it puts in place for other people when others pass on. There are certain talents, Owen being one of them too, to a certain degree. You don't want to use his because of how he died, obviously, but there's so many people that when they did pass, they ate, slept, and drank the business. They loved it.
I'm not one that's overly sensitive, and I agree with most all those examples. I think the devil's advocate response to this particular one is here's we'll just say a kid, for lack of a better word, who obviously never met Eddie Guerrero, never worked with Eddie Guerrero. Eddie didn't know him, so it's like it's not like he could say, "Oh, Eddie was my mentor in the business. He would have okayed me using this as a heat." This is just a kid just randomly trying to just say F Eddie Guerrero just to get a cheap
shooting. Like I said, he's in a not real world.
Yeah, I know.
Shooting for a home run to make himself sound relevant.
My thing is, and again with Eddie and with Paul Bearer, these guys know him the best. I'm sure they would have loved it, but it makes your product look low rent, because no, respectful entertainment product does that, where they would use someone's death and exploit it. And it just makes wrestling look low rent when you do it.
Well, and it's not good for this. I mean, look, this kid, Alex Ocean, obviously he got headlines and we're talking about him right now, but that's going to stay with him. So if he gets a shot in a tryout for a WWE or an AEW, mainly WWE, you're going to be labeled for a little bit until guys or girls get to know you and know what you're all about. You're going to be labeled as the cheap heat Eddie Guerrero guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got to shake hands with Rey Mysterio backstage, you got to, it's
right. No, absolutely.
All right, so the big news item, I guess we'll get to real quick here before we sign it off. So the WWE
and also we'll do a little Survivor Series talk after the ThunderDome.
Okay. So the WWE ThunderDome, it is going to be coming to an end at the Amway Center, but the concept and surroundings will continue. And the report is that it's going to be moved over to the Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team will play, and that's where they're going to set up their residency at. They're going to do it there, and they're going to go at least through Mania season. Right now, Major League Baseball is trying to start on time in April. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. But nonetheless, at least from it seems like December through Mania, they're going to do their programming out of the Tropicana Field, which is obviously significantly larger than what the Amway Center Arena is, and so
why? What's so good about
because their lease, their residency with the Amway Center is expiring, and the Amway Center is going to have to start being used for some minor league hockey and some minor league basketball
and the NBA
and the NBA. So they can't be in there with that setup every week. So they have to move. But they're going to go to a bigger place, the Tropicana Field, which there's potential, and it also leads me to believe a much bigger place where you can try to make the case to get people in there. I think this sets up almost a guarantee that they're going to try to have the Royal Rumble with fans.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to be there for a while, they could do what they're doing with NXT, is set up these plastic pods, and then above it you have all the screens. And
not with these numbers going up, guys. No way. I hope. I don't want to bear bad news.
It's Florida, though.
But Governor DeSantis is encouraging people to go to sporting events. So if you're in Florida and you have the square footage of the Tropicana Field, it's huge. So you could get 5,000 people in there and socially distance them. They've gone around the calendar and had an empty arena mania. They've had Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, etc. Rumble is the one that is so fan heavy. 10, 9, 8. Right. They're going to want fans there for Rumble. And that's going to set the precedent for fans at WrestleMania at Buck Stadium.
Yeah, and Buck Stadium, that's where the Super Bowl is, and they already announced that they're going to have 20,000 fans there. So, but I guess they're doing the plastic pods there too. So, I guess WWE could just do something similar. Real quick, Survivor Series is this Sunday. When you look at it as a card, the top matches could be really good. Real quick, let's run down this. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Who do you guys pick?
Roman.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Roman. But do you think he pins Drew, or you think the Miz cashes in?
Miz cashes in, something like that.
Takes the pin.
Yeah.
No, I just think Roman beats him.
All right. Asuka versus Sasha.
Sasha has to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Asuka. Bailey gets involved.
Yeah, that feud's kind of done. She's moved on to Carmella.
Sasha needs another big win. She always gets screwed over when she does get the title. She needs another big win here. Yeah. Defense.
So those are the two big brand versus brand matches, and that would be 2 SmackDown wins. We have the New Day versus the Street Profits.
New Day.
I don't even care.
Yeah, I think New Day just to get Raw another win. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. U.S. Champion Bobby Lashley versus Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I think Lashley.
Don't care.
Yeah, I think Raw gets it. Again, that balances out so far. AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle versus Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and to be announced. One spot.
Well, the TBA, I don't know what the hell that means, like who this could be, but Raw wins.
I'm going to say Raw. Isn't it a huge miss of the boat? You have Survivor Series, and you have this freaking faction and Retribution that you're trying to build up for months, and you don't why would it be Raw versus SmackDown versus Retribution?
It's too late.
Oh, it is. Yeah. No, I know, but why would you not go that route?
Well, now you don't because
it's too late.
Suck.
Well, no, but why wouldn't you a month ago have built to that?
I would say longer than that. Maybe
and then
3 months ago.
And then Retribution's teasing in their promos that somebody's defected, and now everybody's pointing fingers. Who's defected and is going to turn?
If they protected Retribution right off the bat, then yes, I think you could have done that. But when they beat him right off the bat, it no longer mattered. Right? Yeah. It beat him twice. Yeah. And then this, and again, I compare this match to what NXT is probably going to do with War Games. They got Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce versus Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and 2 spots to be announced.
That's a 50-50 for me. Doesn't matter to me. I don't know.
It seems like they're putting over Nia and Shayna big. So
then those two. There you go.
I can see that. Or Bianca is the sole survivor. I think that'd be cool too. You have.
I would. Yes. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. That's my pick.
Yeah. Lana bumps Nia off the apron. She goes through a table, and it gets rid of her. She gets a little revenge. So.
All right, and then the $1 million question. They got Savio Vega. They got everybody coming back. Taker's final appearance to the date, November 22nd, 30 years to the date. What happens?
Why are you? You're such a mark. You love the fact
Matt, it's my birthday. I love Taker. It's 30 years.
Okay.
They're building around. What happens?
One of the greatest debuts of all time.
Don't bring out your mark identifier to me.
You're freaking rubbing one out over there. I'm saying.
Hands up. Hands up.
I'm saying, listen. He definitely he puts over the Fiend somehow. I'm hoping and praying.
And I kind of agree, Matt. But you know what I want to ask you real quick? I don't think him putting over the Fiend means that he has to like let the Fiend do something physical to him. I think since they've been kind of almost acknowledging the Fiend as like this weird fan favorite because he's just so unique, I think you could have a moment where Taker's in the ring. Maybe he even gets challenged by a bunch of jabronis like Retribution, who the Fiend has took out. And you could have a moment where the Fiend is also then appears in the ring with Taker. They do away with said jabronis, and Taker drops to a knee, does a signal, and then the Fiend does
same
a
with Bray Wyatt. Yes.
Yeah.
They could end it that way.
Like an acknowledgement and respect, passing on the torch type of thing.
I can see that. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I personally see Undertaker just beating up all the Retribution, or just they do nothing and he just does a quick speech and all the wrestlers come out and thank him, and you know, it's like Ric Flair's retirement when he did it.
All right, well, here's the other question. So we all know that they are hyping it. They hyped it in the interview. I think Sports Illustrated, like they are hyping.
Oh my God!
Taker's last thing.
He's all over the place.
Which in wrestling speak is somebody's gonna fuck it up, and we're setting up a match for Mania. So it you know.
I don't know. I think it's too perfect, the 30th anniversary on the day, you know.
And Taker even said in an interview that came out today, we have on Wrestling Inc. You can go read it. He was asked, Who's that one character we wish you got to work with? And he goes, man, me and the Fiend, we could have done something together. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. This is a lot.
It's kind of funny that they did have a WrestleMania. Him and Bray Wyatt had a WrestleMania match that sucked.
You didn't put him over.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that and those two matches, Drew versus Roman, Asuka versus Sasha, that makes the event worth it by itself. So it should. I think it should be good. And New Day versus Street Profits could be really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been an hour and 22 minutes. I think you got your fix. We've done what we're gonna do here. Matt, any final comments?
No.
Raj?
Keep checking out WrestlingInc.com. Tomorrow we got the Young Bucks, an exclusive interview with the Young Bucks on tomorrow's episode of the Wrestling Inc. Daily. So make sure to check that out. We've had, as always, big interviews throughout the week. We had Savio Vega announcing he's going to run for mayor in Puerto Rico. Some cool stuff. So keep checking out WrestlingInc.com. And I'll be on Wrestling Inc. Daily tomorrow with the Young Bucks, so check me out tomorrow afternoon with Nick. Friday morning, I'll be on Busted Open Radio with Mark Henry and Dave LaGreca. Follow me. Come back here on Friday night after SmackDown, as some array of all of us will be there to talk about that. And then, of course, Survivor Series this weekend. Wrestling Inc. will be your place for all your breaking news coming out of that. Thanks for joining us. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, do all the things.